Good evening. I'm Rhonda Gardner, and I'm the Director of Teaching and Learning for the Santa Fe Public Schools. Thank you for joining us tonight for our presentation on the ETN. We're really excited to hear what you have to say about it and hear your questions and concerns. Tonight, we're going to talk about those concerns that we've heard from you that have guided our effort, a little bit about the ETN and its funding source, what we can do with the dollars, and what the classroom can look like with that. And the bulk of our time here we want to spend talking with you about what your questions, concerns, and hopes are. This is our logo. You'll see it on our website, and you saw it to get here. The first thing to talk about is generally just what we've heard from you. We've heard from the staff loud and clear that their number one interest in terms of professional development and their number one concern is the technology and infrastructure and making sure the tools you need in your classroom work. Network issues, making sure that when you do have issues with your equipment, that equipment is immediately repaired. And of course, equity across the district, which is an interest of ours in everything we do in Santa Fe. Carl Grundler, our Chief Business Officer, will share some information about the ETN as a funding source.
Good evening, everyone. Well, the ETN, which stands for Educational Technology Note, is the funding source that will enable all the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. And the ETN is simply a mechanism which raises funds from property taxes to support the district's technology plan to provide necessary resources for our teachers and students. Approximately $11 million per year will be raised with the ETN. All district schools, district charter schools, of which we have 4, and New Mexico School for the Arts, so 32 schools in all, and other district facilities will participate. And the funding is set up to be sufficient and sustainable to support the educational technology transformation in our schools. So what we can do with these funds is significant. We all know we need network improvements so our network is more robust and reliable. We certainly in many of our schools need infrastructure improvements so that the in-school network is more reliable. We also need to support online testing readiness for PARCC and for other online assessments. We're reaching for common equipment and capability in each school. And over time, a phased one-to-one student device, which means a device assigned to a student. And this develops then new opportunities for teaching and learning that Rhonda will be talking about more as we go through the presentation.
So what can we do to help inform this plan? First of all, again, the voice of the teacher is critical in what we do. We've already done some surveying. We intend to do a great deal more surveying of our teacher needs. We also intend to put together an advisory committee of teachers and parents and students to help guide our work. We intend to do additional teacher forums so you have an opportunity to share your voice. There's this web chat. Ultimately, our goal is to develop a plan that would include the infrastructure that we would need, the equipment, how that would be rolled out by school, looking at the kinds of professional development we need that we know we need to differentiate because all of you have different skill sets. We need to make sure we meet you where you are and take you where we know you need to go and where you know you want to go from what we've heard from you. Management of any sort of tools that we use, customizing learning plans for our students, working on policies that will help with our implementation, and of course, best practice learning. What can the classroom look like? We've heard from you the desire to have teacher laptops and tablets so you can be mobile in your classroom. We know that we need to increase our number of smart boards and the interface devices that make them all work together. We've heard that we need to have those student computers in the classroom as well, and as Carl said, we are working ultimately to a one-to-one deployment so that every student in our schools has an assigned device that is age appropriate for their work. What the school can look like, of course, we need ongoing professional development. When you get these tools in your hands, you need ongoing support, both technical support and professional development support, and we hear that, and we know that that support is absolutely critical to this initiative. We know that we also need to work specifically on our network. We need to make sure that network works as we bring in new digital devices, new online devices. You need that infrastructure to make it all happen. So that is a very, very brief overview of the ETN and our intended rollout, but we really need to hear from you to inform our work. So the rest of the presentation is really more about us interacting with you as you share your questions, concerns, and hopes.